as we looked at it with the kids, it would be some obvious stuff, right? They talk about diversity of staff, diversity of the curriculum. Two that caught my attention, and two that caught our attention, one that caught my attention probably more than the kids. That one was, and I don't think this is unique to us, where students say, these things happen all the time and nobody does anything about it. You know, the story will be, this kid made this racist comment, teacher heard it and didn't do anything. Or I told the teacher and they didn't do it. Or I went to the principal and nothing happened. And the reason it caught my attention is, you're probably going to be hard pressed to find a school district that doesn't have a policy around what you should do when that happens. There's the steps you should take. And those policies are intended to provide relief and support to the person who suffered the injustice, and probably have baked into them, this is what you do with this person to help educate them. So why isn't that working? Why do we have that and it's not doing what it's intended to do? So I want to pull that apart with our team and say, what's missing in here? And you know, is the simple response, people like, well, they just don't know what they're supposed to do. Well, I'm not completely sold it's on that, right? So, and who doesn't know? Is because the kids are saying, I told someone they didn't do anything. Is it the fact that they told someone that person didn't know what they're supposed to do, or they told and they did something and they didn't? So we can pull that apart and see what it means, so that that system of support is there more clearly for students and for parents. And then the one that caught all of our attention was the number of comments students made about student issues. I hear kids say these things to other kids. This kid said this to me. They make these assumptions about me. And it's all this kind of student interchange. And that seems to me, from a student leadership perspective, as I said to the kids, that seems to me like a ripe area for student leadership. Because that's, as we know, young people, that's the underbelly of their culture that they keep very well protected from the adults. They don't really let us in to see that going on. And we know it's going on, but we don't really have a sense of the magnitude. They hide it well when they're negatively impacted by it. It's all that underbelly stuff, social media and everything that we don't see. So how could they lead in some fashion around that? The fascinating piece is they have gotten involved with, they're connecting with similar our education foundation group is connecting with other student groups from other school districts in the area, whereas our Ed Foundation is bigger than just that. These are student groups that are specific to equity in the districts. And so this group is feeling very empowered, my group, and is pulling them in and creating a space for all of these groups to come together on a regional basis. That's how empowered these kids have come. They're like, well, this is not just us, this is all these school districts, and they're pulling all these people in and looking for where do we start. And you know, I'm hopeful that they kind of see that one and want to grab hold of it. Because the other stuff, curriculum, staffing, we understand. We'll have them involved in it, but we understand those parts and we can manage it. That other piece is a lot harder to get. And that was my aha moments that I've shared with people as I've looked at that data, because it's pretty prevalent in there. And it also resonated, what the kids said resonated with what we were already working on as a district with our key factors for district equity areas. Some 10 things we're working on. Curriculums in there, diversity of staffs in there, professional development, students, it's all in there. But that piece, I think, is will be interesting to see what kids can do with it. And what I'm hoping my students see through those exchanges, that they've become familiar with the tool, and in the future when they see it, they invest in participation because they see value to their participation in terms of outcomes. If I can create that for over 15,000 students, it becomes a better place. And that's kind of this part of what I'm trying to create. You know, is me and 15,300 of them. How do I get all their voices? And so I have other mechanisms, but that's one of the tools in the toolbox. And I want them to see the opportunity to shape their school community.